Talk about the first time I had a paranormal experience at the house I used to babysit at with this demonic activity in their home. You guys asked for more stories, so I have a lot more. So my first encounter with this demonic presence was when I was actually 12 years old. I do want to say really quick that I've always been able to, since I was like 6, it's the first time I remember seeing something terrifying, talk, see, hear things from the other side. I know I sound crazy, but hang in there. So unfortunately, this is not my first encounter with something. I was at their house, and this was probably like the third time I had babysat. The first time I went over there and was alone at night, I definitely felt unsettled, but I thought it was paranoia. I was 12 years old. So on this specific occasion, this was when the youngest one was a baby. Like I want to say 3 months old. And the mom was actually home because she had a job where she worked nights. So on this specific time, she was like, hey, because obviously Aura, the youngest one, she was really young still. She's like, is it possible? Can you just come over and watch Luna and Aura while I just sleep? I'm so exhausted. I just want to lock myself in my room and sleep for like 6 hours if you can just watch the kids so I can catch up. So I go over there, and I remember walking into the house, and it was really dark. It was during the day, but obviously mom said she wanted to sleep. There was something very eerie about me being in that house, and it's just pitch black. I felt immediately creeped out right when I walked in. The blinds were drawn, everything was just shut up, all the lights were off, and Luna, the oldest one, was in the living room watching a movie. Aura was in her little baby bouncer. Like I said, she's like 3 months old. She was sleeping too. So mom's like, thank you so much for coming over here. Like, I'm so tired. Like, here's this, and this you need, and went straight into her room and went to bed. Now, this working mom of 2 young kids and a newborn, I can't imagine how tired she was. So I understood that she went like right in the room and shut the door. It was in the afternoon, and Luna was still the age where she was taking naps, so she ended up falling asleep on the couch, and Aura, the newborn, was still sleeping in her little baby swing, whatever it was called. So I was just sitting there playing, I'm not kidding, I think it was like Doodle Jump or Fruit Ninja on my iPhone, because I was 12 then, 27 now. So very long time ago. This is like first gen iPhone stuff. I'm still a kid, I'm bored, playing games on my phone. Then I heard like a creaking sound around the house, and it was coming from like the kids' bedroom area. And at first I thought it was the house settling, but then the sound kept happening, and I realized this really sounds like footsteps. It was very bizarre. It was kind of like a pitter, like, it's kind of like this, but in footstep form. I just did that on the wall, if that makes any sense. And it sounded like someone was pacing in a circle by the kids' rooms. Also important to know, parents' room on this side of the house, kids' rooms on the other side of the house. And I looked around, and I'm looking at the parents' door. I'm like, did she wake up? And I somehow didn't see her walk by me. So I sat and I listened, and the footsteps stopped, and I put my ear up to her door, the mom, and I could literally hear her snoring inside. Like, she is passed out, exhausted. Luna and Aura, both sleeping. So I remember I came, sat back down, got back on my game, whatever I was playing at the time. And the TV was on because, you know, Luna was watching a movie. It was very low volume. And all of a sudden, I hear the faintest, hi. But it was in a high-pitched voice, and it sounded like it was coming from the kids' room. And I knew I wasn't crazy. I knew immediately what I heard. I knew it was a voice, and I knew my mind was not playing tricks on me. So my immediate reaction was, okay, I need to wake mom up because someone's in the house. I was convinced that some real person was in the home. I knew that she had, like, the mom had a couple of nieces that stopped by, and her husband had a niece, and, like, I just was trying to think of anyone that could have stopped by the house. So that, okay, before I go and wake up mom, I'm going to go into the back and just see who it is. Because it didn't sound like a deep voice this time. It was very high-pitched and feminine. Hi. So I go and I turn the hallway where the rooms are. Instantly get chills. And I remember this overwhelming feeling of just wanting to cry. No reason. Like, it wasn't because I was necessarily scared. I was scared, but not to the level where I should have been crying. It was a very bizarre experience, and I just remember staying there frozen. And then, as I'm staring into the hallway, the girls' rooms are, like, across from each other. I see the door, because both of their doors were shut. The door slowly creak open in Luna's room. I darted to the mom's door. I was knocking on it, and she, you know, opens the door a couple seconds later because I didn't try and get in. I think she had it locked anyways, but she comes out, her hair's all disheveled. She's like, oh my God, like, are the kid, like, what's wrong? Are the kids okay? And I was like, no, everything's fine, but I think, like, one of your nieces is here in the house. And she looked at me, and she looked so annoyed. And she wasn't a rude woman, by the way. I want to preface that. But, like, I would be annoyed with me, too. I never get to sleep. I get to hire a babysitter an hour, and she's waking me up saying someone's in the house, like, 12-year-old girl. So she goes into Luna and Aura's room. She's like, no one's here, Riley. And she shut the door, and she's like, are you okay to babysit the kids? And I was like, yeah, I'm okay. And then I remember feeling really embarrassed because I had told her, like, I saw the door open. I heard someone say hi. And she told me, don't watch that many scary movies. And I was like, okay. The rest of my time there that day sucked. Eventually, obviously, the baby woke up. Luna woke up from her nap, and we were being quiet. Obviously, the baby's being quiet because it's a baby. But, you know, me and Luna are being quiet, baby in one arm, and we're just very calmly relaxing. And I just felt the whole time so intensely that someone was staring at me and that I just was not supposed to be there. And that was the first encounter I ever had, and then from there I just went completely downhill.
My father was a ghost hunter and was unalived by a demon on his case is the submission that I got for tonight's true scary story. Tonight's submitter's name is Courtney. Her father, whose name was John, grew up in what he thought was a haunted house. He said he would hear crashing and banging in the basement, but as soon as he would go down there, nothing would be down there, no one would be down there, and nothing would be touched. His cat would hiss in random spots when nobody was there, so finally he got to the point where he was like, you know what, I'm gonna go over to the neighbor's house and I'm gonna ask them if they know anything about the previous tenants. The neighbor actually had a piece of information that would make him believe in ghosts. She told him that there was a handyman that used to live in that house and that he actually passed away in that house. Fast forward to 2008, and he was handed down a ghost hunting group, and he worked very closely with his mentor to help people who thought that there was maybe spirits or ghosts in their home. However, 2 years later, he would get the darkest case that he had ever gotten. Fast forward to 2010, and he got a case where a family was experiencing things in a home that were sinister. They would wake up with claw marks on them, they would hear growling, and they would apparently see the ghosts of their unalived grandmother. But when their grandmother approached them, she would turn into this tall, dark, demonic spirit with glowing red eyes and horns. The owners then went down into the basement, and they saw this rug in the middle of the floor, and they thought that this was odd, but they just assumed that the previous tenants had just forgotten their rug. Lo and behold, when they moved the rug, there was a giant pentagram on the entire floor. So her dad's a little hesitant at this point to take the case, but he wanted to help them, so he decided to take the case. So fast forward a couple weeks into the case, he's on the phone with his mentor trying to get advice on how to handle this case further, because this is dark. Now, during this time, while he's on the phone with his mentor, this is in the middle of the case, but while he's talking to his mentor, he hears this dark, deep voice say, "You are going to die." So taken aback at this point, her father is like, "What?" And the mentor says, "What?" And he's like, "What was that?" And the mentor's like, "I was talking to you about the case." At this point, he is thinking that he's going to drop the case, but he actually decided not to because he's like, this family needs help. I need to help them. So he continues on with the case. About a week later, her father is rushed to the emergency room complaining of chest tightness. He said that it felt like somebody was literally sitting on his chest. He spends the night in the ER getting tests done. All of them came back completely normal. So this goes on for about another week of this feeling of somebody is constantly sitting on his chest. So he goes to a Reiki healer, and what she finds is sinister. She finds a demonic serpent wrapped around his chest. Now, she was able to clear this negative spirit off of him, but it had done significant damage, and she wasn't sure how much longer he was going to live. In 2012, he has constant dreams and visions of him passing away for a couple of months. Sadly, he passed away in September of 2012. Was this a coincidence? Maybe. But Courtney wholeheartedly believes that that entity had a major influence on his passing. What do you guys think? What do you think happened here? Do you think that this dark entity had an influence on him passing? Do you think it was the whole reason that he passed away? I mean, taking a case like that is so dark, I can't even imagine. That sounds terrible, and it really makes you think, what goes on that we don't know about? How many hauntings are out there that we don't know about that are this sinister, that are taking lives? If that is what happened, that is terrifying. Now, I've actually told this story before on my other page, but I figured that I would tell it again on this one because this one had a huge impact on like my thoughts of the paranormal, and it's scary. Like, it's super scary. Drop all your thoughts, opinions, and comments below, but please, as always, be respectful. Thank you. And now I'm going to do my favorite part, which is the shout outs. First shout out is going to Racin219. You left such a sweet comment, and I appreciate you so much for that. You left it on my other page, but I will tag you on this one so that you see this. I appreciate your support so much. Thank you for being a part of my little community. Thank you for watching my videos and commenting and pushing them out. You have no idea what your support means to me, and I just want to let you know how much I care and how grateful I am to have people like you in my corner. So thank you so much. I love you. Card House Studio is my second shout out. I will also tag you so that you see this. This is from my other page. I will start doing shout outs from this page. I just have to look at the comments first, and the next video will have only shout outs from this page. But I appreciate you so much. Thank you for what you said. That meant so much to me. Again, I am so lucky to have people like you supporting me. It means so much to me. Your kind words mean so much to me. Your support, that you watch my videos, that you comment, all of that. Just thank you. I'm so lucky to have you, and I love you. And with that being said, my name is Kaisa, and I tell true scary stories on here every single night that you guys submit to me. So if you're into that, hit that follow button. And I just need you to do 3 things for me. And what are those? Keep sending me your scary stories. Have a safe night. What's the third one? Say it with me. Have a spooky night. Love you guys so much. See you in the next one. Spooky kisses and haunted hugs.
I love when October rolls around because that's when people start telling their scary stories and their paranormal experiences. I'm watching Two Hot Takes, their spooky podcast episode, and it just reminded me. So I just thought I'd share mine. I'm trying to debate on like how I want to start this. We have a L-shaped hallway my dad built on an addition to our original house. And there's 3 bedrooms back there. My mom, her room was here, mine was directly across hers, and then my brother's was directly next to mine. One thing about me, I lock my doors. My bedroom door, excuse me. So anytime I'm in my room, my door is shut and my door is locked. So I was in my room, I was doing like homework or playing or whatever, and I hear my brother run down the hallway. And I know it's my brother because I studied the walks of whoever's walking down the hallway. Like I knew if it was my mom, my dad, or my brother. And I knew it was my brother. He was running down the hallway, knocking on my door. Haley, 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 just being fucking annoying. And I remember going, Seth, leave me alone. And I heard him run off. But later, I like came out of my room, went and found my mom who was sitting in the living room watching TV. And I was like, where's Seth? And she's like, oh, he's at a friend's house. You mean like the friend next door or next door neighbor friend? And she's like, no, like I dropped him off after school at his friend's house. He'll be home soon. And I was like, oh, okay. So that was the first time something weird ever happened. And at that point I had just convinced myself that I had made it up. Like I was hearing things and my brain was playing tricks on me. The second one sticks with me to this day, and my mom still tells people this story. And I remember I fell asleep and then I woke up startled. You know, you just wake up and I look at my doorknob and it's fucking jiggling. I can hear it. It's jiggling back and forth. And I thought Seth was fucking with me again. My brother. And I remember saying like, Seth, go away. And then at that point, it stopped and the door just creaked open. I was frozen because we lived in the country. There's no lights. All the lights are off in the house. So it was a pitch black hallway like you see in the movies. And in walks this little ass kid dressed in like early era clothing. I don't even know the clothing era. And they're playing with a fucking yo-yo or a bouncy ball, something like that. Their hand motion is going like this. And they're humming. And they're walking towards me. And I just remember being frozen in fear. And it gets to like the edge of my bed and just stares at me humming. And then all of a sudden, it grabs me by my shoulders and starts shaking me. And I snapped to my mom shaking me. And she was like, honey, you're having a bad dream. It's okay. Lay back down. And so I just thought I was having a bad dream. Like I had fell asleep and I just had a bad dream. So I woke up the next morning and I just couldn't stop thinking about that. And I was like, wait, then it clicked. How did my mom get into my room? And I asked and I said, hey, when you ran into my room last night, like what was I doing? And she's like, you were sitting straight up in bed, staring into the center of your room, just screaming. And I was like, okay, but like, did you have to go get like a coin or something to unlock my door? And she's like, no, it was open. And that's the part that irritates me to this day. Like, I can't explain it because I know for a fact I don't go into my room without shutting my door. The fact that I saw the door handle jiggling, saw the door open, my mom confirmed the door was open. I just can't. Ever since that day, it scared me so badly that I didn't sleep in that room for 5 years after that until I moved out. I slept on the couch, which leads me to my final story in this house. So a couple days after that happened, I was sleeping on the couch, and across from the couch there's like a hallway, and it just has 2 rooms which were used for storage at the time, and a bathroom. Everything was shut off, pitch black when I went to sleep, and I woke up to like a flashlight being beamed into my face. And I just remember, like, obviously, like, trying to see through the flashlight to see who the fuck was shining that in my eyes. And I realized that the bright white light, human figure, like, it was a figure. It wasn't, like, super defined, but you could tell it was, like, this blurry. This, I did not feel scared at all. I actually convinced myself to get out off the couch and like feel around for the hallway light, and I remember specifically flipping the hallway light on, looked around, nothing, and that one I did not feel any fear whatsoever. My dad was always told me, oh, that's your guardian angel, they were just there letting you know that it's okay. And I was like, I don't know, I felt like I was gonna meet Jesus. I felt like I was going to the light. Maybe I shouldn't have walked towards the light. I don't know, but I've had a bunch of weird shit happen to me. If you guys want to hear more, like, I'd be happy to, but I can't wait till all of these scary stories come out because I love listening to them. So, happy Halloween.
Should we show them the older homestead?
Okay, yeah, let's go. As you know.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Was that you?
Yeah, that's on either side.
They went to both.
Yeah.
Hey, we're gonna TikTok. This is your Nelly. I'm here to story time for you. So this is my story. I will be sharing with you. This happened to me when I was trained to become a police officer in the Phoenix Assassin Training College, right? So we'll get into this. One morning, it was like around 2 o'clock. I woke up with a pain in my stomach, and most females know what a pain is, right? So I got up and I jumped off the bed to go and see if I could get like a pill or something from my squaddie that could help me. So when I got to her bed, I tapped her and she was annoyed because I disturbed her from sleeping. So I said, this is my story. I don't mind calling people them name. But I said, Paul, you get any painkiller? She said, I said no, with her eyes closed. Her eyes were closed. I'm like, all right. And I look around. And the only light I could have seen in this bar room was the light from outside by the commissioner. And at that time, Sila Basad was the commissioner. So now I then looking around in the room, right? And I studied who next I should go and ask for pill. And let me tell you, I say, you know what? Fuck it. Nina Pondo. Because the only thing I could see was the bed frame. And I know people on the bed. Or so I think. Anyhow, I just go back in my car now and I jump up on the table. And I try to bear my chief until they clean. So the next day now, I got up. I was the first person to go in the shower. First person to undress everything. And everybody was surprised because usually that's really the last time going in, you know, when everybody was done. Or like when majority people done. So anyhow, I went downstairs to get something to eat, which makes it worse. And then I waited until the canteen opened just before we go into the classroom. But then it got called into parade and stuff, right? So I was on the parade with the pain and it gnawing me and what's that and thing. So the girl decided to faint. So I fainted and they took me off of the field and take me into the medical office, and I was there. And they asked me what happened. I said I'm not feeling well and what's that and thing. So they said, could you manage to like walk and stuff? Well, this is the first time I actually fainted on parade. Right? This is the first time, and I didn't there for so long, and I didn't looking for opportunity to faint, and this was the perfect opportunity to just say. But I smart. I fall frontward, I fall backward, and to the side. I fall like this and crawl up because you need to put a bus face thing. Anyhow, so the woman was like, "You want to go to the doctor?" I said, yeah, when I went to the hospital, because my stomach was killing me. So when I got to Georgian Public Hospital, right, it took a while before they could see me. They said, oh, ma'am, we have patients with asthma, we have patients with this, we got poison, so you gotta wait. Okay, oh, I can wait my turn. So eventually when it's my turn, the doctor finally got to see me. He said, what's your problem? And I was like, I explained to him, I said, I'm going through the time of the month, and I'm in bad pain, like bad pain, stomach hurt and everything. He said, what did you eat? And I told him it's not what I eat, it's the time. So he he questioned me, he asked me if I take any pills or what's not and thing, and I said, no, I ain't take no pill. Anyhow, he gave me a shot on my body, right? And then I waited here like for like an hour before I could go. I think it was an hour to 30 something. Yeah, I think it was an hour, I believe. So eventually, when they done with me, they gave me a pill, and I went back. Now me alone went to the hospital. One of my squad took me there, a female. So we went back to the training school, and then when I got back to the training school, it was like around 12 something. Right, I went and I eat something, and then after finish eating, you had to go back into the classroom. So when I went back into the classroom, my coordinator, he was aware of what happened to me in the parade, and he said, Isaac, are you feeling okay? I said, yes, sir. But I just want to go. I am feeling okay, but I want to go and fucking sleep. I want to go and sleep because I want to make a back for this morning because I couldn't sleep because the pain was killing me. So he said, you could make it through, you could pull through in classroom today. We dip on what was this topic was, I think it was manslaughter. Yeah, it was about, so it was like you can make it, or you wanna pull through this module with me. So I'm like, I feel he said, alright, the face expression alone, alright, go along and you relax yourself. You go along and take the rest of the day, right? So I said, thank you, sir. Pick up my book and my newspaper, and I gone. Yeah, I wonder why I got newspaper. The English teacher, insubordinate, he left the newspaper with me. And he said, you can come back for the next day. So I picked up the newspaper, my book, and I went straight upstairs to the female dormitory. When I got there now, right, let me tell y'all. When I leave to go into the dormitory, there were another course drilling outside, right? There were two courses drilling outside, and there were also people over at Everest ground weeding the compound, right? Weeding the ground. So it was noisy, and in me I'm thinking I don't even think I'll ever sleep with all this drilling that's all going on. So I left my bed to go on a squatty bed and sleep, because her bed is breezy. Her name is Class, God rest her soul. She bed super breezy, and it's the fact that her bed is facing to the east. It's like all the breeze coming, and she's close to the seawall side, so you don't know what happened there. Plus, she facing Everest Road. I took off my uniform, KD uniform, and I went and sleep. So I'm on this bed in a dose, actually going in a dose, and then I feel like my dose, the dose of the sleep that I was going in, it just somehow turned around, like I don't know what happened. Like, I don't know, these feelings that I usually feel, right, came over me, and I was like, shit, I am going into sleep paralysis. I could hear this place getting silent, and the noise just dying down. Even the weeding machine, it sounded like it's been controlled by a remote, where you could just like turn the volume down. And all I heard was women's shoes coming down the hallway within the female dormitory, but this is from the southern side. And I know that nobody else was upstairs at that time, because I made sure to check that I was the only person within the back room. So I done did my check. The other door was locked. The other door on the southern side was locked, because I don't think them girls really trust we, and we trust them. So we used to leave the door open, but they used to lock the door, right? The time they used to open is when they come up for lunch, or when they don't, during the afternoon. So I know to myself, I don't on this bed, I'm not sleeping. I went into a deep sleep paralysis, and all I heard is shoes, like women's shoes coming down this hallway. And I know that the door locked. And I heard two voices, like two different voices. So when you come into the southern dormitory, there's a, like when you come over here, there's like a bump, a high bump. You gotta put your foot on. And when you put your foot on, it's like concrete to wood. So from concrete to wood. So it's like you hear the whole creaking sound of the building when you step on the wood in the southern dormitory, in the northern side, even on the southern side. So I you know the difference between wood and concrete. So I hear the clap clap clap, and when you go on the wood, you got more the shoes and the walking and the heel, it got more intense. So I was like, what the fuck is this now? So as soon as I hear this walking on the wood, I know them done there in the dormitory, and whosoever it is could see me, right? So here one of them turn and ask the other one, why is this comrade upstairs? Isn't this supposed to be in classroom? So let me tell you, my eyes was closed and I couldn't move nothing, but I couldn't move, I couldn't do nothing, right? So she was like, yeah, what's she doing up here? Comrade, what are you doing up here? I can't fucking talk, I can't move, I can't say nothing. All I feel was one fucking button lash on my foot. I know I never get licks with button. I know how button feel. I know it was a button because I felt it before. Like, you know, you hold it so you know how compact this wood is. One of these female officers lashed me on my foot with this button. But let me tell you what happened to me. I spring the fuck out of my sleep paralysis and I run downstairs. Back for part 2.
What the fuck was that? Bro!
What's going on around you?
I don't know. I'm frozen. I am frozen.
Did the window
Sean.
break?
Hello and welcome back to a series of spooky stories, The Haunted Tea Spill. Spooky shirt of the day, my favorite cartoon growing up, Scooby-Doo. The orange link is here, now onto the story. I believe I've always been intuitive when it comes to spirits. I would see numbers and signs, songs, or animals that had special meaning to us for my loved ones growing up, so I've always felt looked after. I've never felt super afraid of the paranormal until I was in high school. During this time, my sister and I weren't getting along and the tension in the house was bad. And at this time, we lived in a 2-bedroom apartment, but my 2 sisters, mom and I, slept in the master while we rented out the other room. When you walk into our room, you immediately see bunk beds where my sister and I slept. I slept top, she slept on bottom, and it was a bit wobbly. When you turned a little to the left, it was the bed that my younger sister and my mom slept. If you turn around the corner, that was the walkway mirrored closet. This is very important because both sides were sliding mirrors that faced each other, and that led to the bathroom. At the time, I didn't know about portals and mirrors. One day, my sister mentioned that she played with something that she wasn't supposed to with a friend. What was it? They made it by hand, and you can probably guess what it was. I'm sure I fucking can. She swore nothing happened, and then they threw it away. Stop it. But one night, as I was sleeping, I so happened to wake up facing the entire room. It was dark, so I didn't notice at first, but then my eyes focused more and more, and I realized the black figure I was seeing wasn't disappearing. It was standing in the hall with the mirrors, tall. There were no features that I could tell, but I noticed the top of its head was shaped differently, almost like it was wearing a hat. It looked as if it was watching my mom and my little sister sleeping, and then it started to turn. Please, God, don't do that. I noticed and turned around facing the wall, squeezed my eyes shut tight, and kept taking deep breaths. After a bit, I felt the bed shake a little and felt as if something was either laying or sitting on the bottom bunk. I kept my eyes shut and kept counting in my head. Before I knew it, it was morning. I never told anyone what happened, so when my sister told us later that day a dark man sat at the end of her bed, I was shocked and scared. You should be. You definitely should be. That's crazy. She mentioned that it just sat at the foot of her bed and just shifted between watching her and watching my mom and our younger sister. After about 5 minutes or so, it got up and walked slowly to the hall where she noticed one closet door was open. I still didn't say anything, too afraid that it would give too much attention to whatever it was. Then a few nights later, we were all sleeping. I woke up again around midnight, saw the figure again, but this time it was right where my head was, but facing down. I don't like that. Basically, this time it was staring at my sister, watching her sleep. I did the same thing again. Turned over, closed my eyes, the covers over me, and then I felt it again get into the bed, making a shift. After a few minutes, there was a piercing scream from underneath where I was sleeping. Suddenly, my sister was awake and thrashing in her bed. My mom woke up and turned on the light as my sister leapt from her bed onto my mom's bed, crying. He grabbed me. He grabbed me, and he said that he wanted to kill me. He wanted to kill all of us. Why are we doing that? Well, anyway, rated on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being the least scary, creepy, spooky, 10 being the most. If you have a story of your own that you want to submit, you can do so on the link tree in my profile. I will see you all at the next episode. Stay spooky, friends.